Anybody that watches Better Call Saul, you know that your opening sequence is going to give you a little clue into what's going on with Saul now, like what's happening now. And it's usually in black and white. And this time it's black and white for a few seconds, but you see a whole bunch of ties sort of falling into it's revealed that it's falling into like a moving box, and the ties are black and white, and then they get colorful, and you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, this is in color? Is this not a flashback or a forward? What is going on? And you just become instantly disoriented from what you're expecting from Better Call Saul. And then it just goes into this amazing one-er shot with the camera flowing through Saul's home as movers are there moving stuff out. It really does feel like a choreographed ballet in a way. And I was so surprised to hear when researching that episode that this was a dance troupe that you used. Yeah. For the talent, tell me about that opening scene and how you achieved it.
Well, so I think a lot of the things that you just talked about were brainchilds. When the script came out, it said, "We are in glorious color," which, was kind of surprised people as it was. But Michael Morris, who was our producer director this season, he directed a couple episodes, season 5 and one season 4. Just a fantastic director. He had that idea about the box, which I absolutely loved. And as we progressed and we realized that scene was going to be this wonder, it just began to make more and more sense to get people that could choreograph, could hit marks, could keep time. That was actually the original thought, was actually that we were going to play a song or something, or a time keep of some sort. So anyway, so that was all Michael's idea. So we actually spent an entire weekend with that dance troupe in that house, choreographing every one of those scenes to the second.
Wow.
And then came back the next day or two actually and shot it. So yeah, it was, and it just paid off. I mean, they hit it time and time again beautifully. We could make final, little tiny adjustments. But when you start on a set, kind of trying to build that, it takes a long time. So it saved us an enormous amount of time, and it just was, we could see the magic in it almost immediately. Even when I'm walking around with my phone, it was like, wow, this is really going to be cool. So,
how were you keeping time? You had mentioned you were considering playing an audio track or something. What did you end up doing?
Yeah, it ended up being our first AD just basically kept track of everything and was cueing people actually on the spot. But they could tell, they got to the point after, and we did a little bit, we played a little bit of music during some of the rehearsals, but it got to the point where they just knew the exact moments that they had to be in places. And also, the hard part is we never know what the music track's going to be up front, obviously. So you don't want to get them going too much in a direction that it's not going to end up that way.
So when you're working on a scene like this, and you know that you have a pretty substantially long one-er shot that goes through this entire place, how are you preparing for something like this? Obviously, you need to be able to have your camera move around unencumbered with no problems, but you also need to light in a way where kind of everywhere you land, it's exposed correctly and it's exactly what you want. So can you talk to me about how you sort of strategized that opening scene?
The big thing is I work really closely with the art department all along the way to make sure that if we have a set like that that's got practicals in it, that we're going to see the whole thing. Obviously, it's all about bulb choice and what kind of bulb it is and what exactly we're trying to do with it. So I work closely with the art department and the set dressers to make sure that we could do that, especially in that inside area there. That was actually that's a real house that we shot in Albuquerque, where the bed was like a living room area, and that whole closet was actually the bedroom. So we moved through that whole thing. But yeah, mostly it's working with them and making sure that I've got the stop that I can handle inside, because it was all natural windows in the original bedroom there. And then the whole thing with the bed, and we had to make sure that thing could light up, and it was they built that thing all from scratch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, and then obviously all of the big pieces. I mean, those big plaster pieces that some of those folks were carrying were real heavy, statues and things like that. So,
yeah. And then you were saying that you had natural light coming in sort of those bedroom scenes and largely the entire thing. Were you really just letting it go natural, or like how are you handling that?
I think I warmed it just a teeny bit, just to kind of take a little bit of the blue off, because, you know, when we went inside the closet where all of the ties and everything, well, I don't know if everybody noticed the Panavision hat that was in there too, by the way.
No.
One of the corners as we kind of go around, there's a Panavision hat there from the time that he was working with the kids from the university, remember? And he was directing and he had that silly Panavision hat. There are so many Easter eggs in those scenes. Man, it's unbelievable. But so we went in tungsten. In that, you know, that whole closet area is all tungsten. It's all warm tungsten. But you know, we did that on purpose. I did it on purpose so that we popped the colors, because that was the big thing. I mean, you know, it's seeing all those ties and those silly pocket squares and, you know, all of the range of colors in there. It's just fantastic. And then obviously the safe room reveal and all that stuff in the mirror was, you know, was a lot of
And what are you flying?
Obviously.
In the safe room, in the safe room, it's all fluorescent?
Yeah, just on uncorrected fluorescent, just to make it go green and feel it, you know, make it feel kind of like what it was supposed to be, at least.